Hello everybody, Happy New Year! Yeah, it's New Year, it's 2019 today and it's gonna be 2020 tomorrow. Yeah, Happy New Year, that's kinda how time works. Whatever. Anyway, so in case you're new around here, this is the ceremonial boring update video that I do at the end of every year. These are basically disorganised, rambly messes where I just sort of waffle off the top of my head about the stuff that I did this year, talk about the stuff that I enjoyed doing, and talk about how I'm going to take that and build it into the next year's content. These are only really here to just, keep us both on the same page, so you know the sort of things that I'm going to be making in the coming months, and they're also as much for my benefit as they are for yours, because I find that if I take like 15-20 minutes, switch the camera on, sit down and start waffling, then I find it gives me a bit more of a direction, if I can just sort of lay out there the stuff that I want to do in the next year. I find it really helps because, I'm a busy guy, I don't really sit down and think about what I'm doing that often. So yeah, we're going to do that, starting now. Okay, so the biggest watershed moment for me in 2019, the biggest thing I did this year, wasn't reaching 10,000 subscribers, which I'd been looking forward to for quite a long time, but no, that wasn't the biggest moment for me this year. The biggest moment for me this year was actually finishing the 13 Reasons Why video. Because, as I indicated during that video, I watched the first series of 13 Reasons Why in 2017, and I started writing the video then and there because it really affected me quite deeply, and not for any positive reasons. Just, I felt I needed to get that script out of me, and I was sat on it and I kept coming back to it over the course of the next couple of years, during which time they had time to make 2 new seasons of it. I was sat on that for quite some time because I wasn't totally sure whether I wanted to cover such a serious, heavy topic on my channel, because the Stu Bagfield channel is something that it's a place I come to get away from all of that. It's never really been somewhere that I've been that comfortable bringing in such serious topics, because, I'm the guy that makes videos about Stephen Moffat's ginormous brain with all the planets orbiting it and shit. And as I kept coming back to that script and thinking about it time and time again, I realised that I had to make it personal, because my relationship with that show was entirely personal. It affected me on such a deep level, just seeing how catastrophically badly they got this topic so wrong. I was really nervous about doing it because I don't really talk about my own battles with depression with anyone, and I've never come out and actually, confirmed it on the channel, despite the fact you can kind of infer from my dour tone in so many videos on this channel that, I've suffered from depression for a long time. Like, right up until near the time when I'd finished it, it wasn't going to have that bit where it cuts away from me doing my regular voiceover TV shtick to me giving that on-camera monologue where I talk about suicidal thoughts and self-harm. It wasn't going to have that at all because I was too afraid to do it, but I just it felt right and I had to do it, and it was a different video for me. It didn't exactly do brilliantly in terms of views, but it was a different video for me and I'm glad I did it. And most of that was down to the comments, actually. I had about 5 or 6 people in comments, and I had a couple of direct emails as well, actually, from people telling me that my video encouraged them to start taking their mental health more seriously, to encourage them to actually go to a doctor and seek help. And it just felt really nice knowing that I'd managed to do that. Like, my video actually had a positive impact on some people's lives. It was fucking stunning, and it makes my YouTube channel worth it, really. As said, I never really knew whether I wanted to bring my mental health battles onto my YouTube channel at all, because, as said, this is the place I come to get away from everything, but it just made me feel really good knowing that I'd done some good in the world. So I think I'd like to make some more mental health related content. Not much, but I'd like to start doing it occasionally. I've had this idea for a video called 5 Practical Things That You Can Do to Combat Depression, sort of detailing things that I do that have helped me cope with mine over the years. Because back when I was in the hole of depression and I was talking to doctors and therapists and reading self-help books and things, a lot of the things that even people qualified to deal with this stuff will tell you, a lot of it can, when you're in that place, a lot of it can seem a bit wishy-washy and vague, and like you're not really sure what to do with this bit of advice that someone's given you. But there are practical things that you can do in your life, little changes that you can make that can help you say to yourself, I'm taking charge of my life, making positive moves to combat my depression. So I think that might be good. That might be helpful. I might do it quite soon, actually. Of course, that's not the only thing that I want my channel to be about, obviously. Just think it might be nice to do something like that every once in a while. But yeah, the mental health thing has been kind of a big deal for me this year, and it's why I haven't been uploading quite as frequently as I would have liked to have done. You may have noticed that there have been quite a lot of these big black spots where I haven't been posting as often as I usually do. And there have been quite a lot of things that I've missed, which I would have liked to have covered, but I just felt like I needed it, because I've been going through therapy this year, and the 13 Reasons Why video in particular, it brought up quite a lot of heavy shit, which I didn't realise I wasn't done with. I'm probably going to keep going at quite a slow pace, where I can only get like between 2 and 3 videos done a month, which is annoying, but I'm kind of in a place right now where I kind of have to go at a slower pace than usual. I want to play catch up with 2019 a bit, because there's a ton of shows that I missed this year which I really would like to cover. There's HBO's Chernobyl, which people were telling me about for months and months on end. Stuart, you've got to watch it. It's the best show ever. It's bleak. It's horrible. It's the sort of thing you'd like. And I've started checking it out recently. I'm about halfway through, and yeah, they're right. It's the most bleak, miserable, horrible thing in the world. I would really like to make a video about that at some point. There's also that Mandalorian thing, which I keep on seeing all over Facebook and Twitter. I would like to expand my scope a bit into all of these new online streaming services, because what I've really done in the past is just He Who Moans, a couple of British broadcasters, and Netflix, but there's a ton of rivals coming up. There's also that Apple Plus thing that just launched with a bunch of original shows, and I was thinking about just taking out the free trial and doing one big video where I give my quick capsule thoughts on each of the original shows, which, if I do that, I will probably end up giving a biased review of all of them, because I am a certified Apple hater. Apple is overpriced garbage. Don't give them money. In terms of Doctor Who, Series 12 starts tomorrow, doesn't it? Yeah, this is the first series where I haven't been quite sure how I want to cover it. I was thinking about doing one big video on the 2-part season opener and then just seeing whether I feel like talking about the rest of them. Or I could wait until the series is done and then do one big Series 12 review video. Because with Series 11, I don't know if I've made my thoughts clear enough, I did not have enough material to make 10 7 to 8 minute videos on each of the episodes, because there just wasn't anything to talk about. So yeah, I'll either end up doing that or just do one big video. I don't know, the idea of doing another 10 videos where I talk about each episode of Series 12 one by one, it's just a bit daunting to me. And as I said, I don't know how interesting I'm going to find it. I'm not done with Doctor Who, as I may have sounded in my rather bleak editorial that I made a few months back, which has depressingly now become my most viewed He Who Moans video ever. Yeah, this is the world we live in now. I'd also like to talk about the animated versions of The Faceless Ones and Fury from the Deep when they come out, because I do still find those interesting and fun to make. I really enjoyed making that one on Macroterror earlier this year, so, as I said, not done with Doctor Who, just not really sure how I want to approach Series 12. Oh yeah, another thing that I'm definitely going to cover, in case you haven't seen, Rob Shearman has returned to Doctor Who, and he's written a Target novelisation of Dalek, which I could not be more pleased about. He's also agreed to come on the channel for a chat, so expect that at some stage. So, getting on to original content, Class. There's 2 more episodes that I want to make. Class 11 is probably going to be out around, I'd say around May time, and I'm scheduling Class 12 for October time. I'm not sure if it's going to continue after episode 12. I think these 2 provide the perfect little coda for the series. I'm open to continuing it, but I think I think the story is winding its way to a conclusion. Episode 11 sees sort of wraps up the whole Lisa story a bit, and episode 12 gives you a bit more backstory on the Living Flesh supercomputer. The working title for episode 11 is You Can Never Leave, and the working title for episode 12 is Careers Advice. So yeah, expect those at some point. I would also like to make a return to my short story reading with illustrations videos, like in The Internet Always Remembers from a couple of years ago. Because I have written tons and tons of short stories this year. I seem to can't stop. I wrote about 70,000 words of prose this year, I think. For example, I've got this one story which I think would be perfect to release around Good Friday time. It's called Merry Easter, and it's set in a world where Easter is celebrated like Christmas. Like, instead of wearing Santa hats, you got people wearing little plastic crowns of thorns. And the story's about this kid who goes to see his dying granddad on Good Friday, and everyone goes to sleep that night, and they wake up in the morning, and the granddad's body has turned into Easter presents for all the children. So I think that's about all I have to say for the moment. I think I've covered everything. If I haven't, then I'm sure that I'll have left a comment in the bottom explaining some stuff. I don't know. Future Stuart knows what he's talking about. Trust him. So yeah, thank you for watching, and if you've been a part of my Patreon project, thank you for chucking me money. I suppose this is the point where I talk about my Patreon. In case you're unaware, I do little mini versions of these on a more regular basis on my Patreon, where I do a little vlog where I talk about the stuff that I'm doing and then chuck it out there like once every couple of weeks or something. So, you know, if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, why not go chuck me some money on Patreon? Do it. So yeah, I think that all that leaves me to say is thanks for watching, everybody. Yeah, thanks for subscribing to the channel. Thanks for leaving me nice little encouraging comments here and there, and hope you stick around for more content. Bye bye.